Okay, just have a recording. So we decided in the new year to have a quick Q&A with our new SEEK coordinators. We're just going to introduce briefly before I give the floor to them. So Evan Frendo is a trainer and author based in Berlin in Germany, but I think he travels a lot training. So whenever I see him on Facebook, he's usually doing some great stuff in Korea and other Asian countries. And he's also the author of some really highly appreciated ESP books, finance and engineering, and heaven knows whatsoever. And then we have also Dana Poklepovic, who is a trainer and coach. I think coaching is one of her key special areas, based in Buenos Aires, Argentina. And they took their position in at the BC conference in Malta in November. And Dana also used to be a member of the BSIC online team before she took that position. So the floor is yours. And of course, everybody who wants to ask a question, put the question in the chat box. And I think there were also a couple of questions that we had on Facebook. And the first question that we had, I think can actually then be asked later by Pete Rutherford, who had that. So can you just make sure that your mics are on and your video are on, and I stop my video? Okay.
Yeah. Testing.
Hello.
Hi, Dana.
Can you hear me now?
I can hear Dana.
Hi, Evan.
We can hear you both.
Finally.
You can hear us both. Good.
Yes, I'm having a very poor connection today, so maybe I will turn my camera off now, if you don't mind.
Dana is going for the old difficult questions, my connection has gone trick. I'd like to start off perhaps by just saying thank you to Kristen, and thank you very much to Heather for a fantastic opening 2018 webinar. I think that really sets a very nice standard for the rest of the year. So thanks again, you guys. Brilliant job. A lot of what our plans have been written down, sent to members, are in the newsletter, were discussed in the last conference. But we thought we'd start just by reminding you, or perhaps telling you, of our aims as joint coordinators, what's motivating us. We had 3 aims when we put our names forward for this job. I'll talk about the first one, and then Dana will talk about the second and third one. As Kristen just said, I do work a lot in Asia. Dana, of course, comes from South America, and we're both very interested in getting as many events as possible outside Europe, which has been BSIC's traditional main area of recruitment, of membership, and so on, and of events. We have had events outside. Last time I was coordinator, we did an event in Singapore, for example. So this is not new. And we have steadily been progressing. It's become easier with cheaper travel, online webinars, and so on. So this is happening. At the moment, what it looks like is that the next 3 years, or 2 or 3 years, we'll probably have a main conference in Europe, because that is still where our main membership is. But Europe is getting bigger and bigger, of course. But we're looking, hopefully, to do summer events outside Europe. We've got a lot of contacts, many of whom are on this in this meeting today, in this workshop, and we're hoping to go to India, to China, to South America. It's not a problem getting offers or ideas. The problem, of course, is finding local venues and local organizers who can help. So that's the first aim, to try and get BSIC to do more outside Europe. Over to you, Dana.
Thank you, Evan. And well, our second aim is that BSIC can come closer to businesses. That it's not only that we know as teachers what they need from us, but in line with what Heather has been talking recently, is that they know what we do, what we can do, that we have a niche, for example, that we are specialized in certain areas, that we are not only English teachers, that we are coaches, and there is we feel we can if we become closer and we create a closer relationship with organizations, they will be more aware of what we do. And the third, our third goal is to raise our membership awareness of global issues. And with this, we don't need to start we're looking for solutions to global issues, which we could also do, but in terms of business English, that is not the case. But to work with our membership in how to approach global business issues in our lessons, in our courses, in our workshops. So these would be the three main goals that we are looking forward. So if you have questions other than the ones that we have prepared, I think you can write them in the chat box.
One of the questions we were asked, and people ask all the time, is how can we get involved? IATEFL, as you know, or you may not know, is a charity. It's run almost entirely by volunteers. BESIG is a special interest group in IATEFL and is all volunteers. And we're very lucky at the moment to have a fantastic team of people who have put a lot of work into organizing these sorts of events. Last year's Malta conference was, for example, was fantastic. We had very, very good feedback, and we had a large number of people attending. This does take a lot of effort, though. This year, and we will be writing to members later this month, this year we have a couple of the people on our committee leaving. Their time is up, and we will be looking to replace them. We're also always looking for volunteers, for people who will just take on small jobs. For example, the online team is not one person. It consists of a whole group of people, and they share out the work so that it's not too much for anyone. In the same way, Dana and I are sharing the coordinator position. Helen, when she organizes events, has a team of people, sometimes more, sometimes less. And it's almost impossible to do this nowadays without people putting their hands up. So really, what we're saying is we're always looking for volunteers. All you have to do is write to us, drop us a Facebook message, whatever, and say, hi, I'd like to help. I don't have a lot of time. However, this is what I can contribute, or how can I help? There are an incredible number of advantages to helping, especially if you're fairly new to the profession. The first thing, of course, is networking. You will get to meet, I guarantee, if you work on the committee, you will get to meet and network with a lot of people who may actually end up being quite useful to you in your own career, or just interesting people to be with and work with. Another big advantage, if you're fairly new to the profession, is that you learn and have the chance to practice skills. These committee positions are management positions, and a lot of teachers who are working with managers and who are working with business people don't actually ever have the chance to work as business people themselves. And a lot of the things we're doing on the committee are actually business management type tasks. So I can promise a lot of experience, a lot of learning for some people.
Yes, sorry,
and of course,
definitely. I think
yeah,
that's one of the most important points. Besides learning or developing your teaching skills, you are going to learn a lot of teamwork and management skills, but in special teamwork, because we approach all of our tasks in a team way. We are divided into different teams: the event coordinator, events management team, the online team where I started working or volunteering, and there is the editorial team too. So we would promise in a way that you won't be alone doing what you choose to do. That's it, Evan.
Yeah, I think that's it, Dana. We're looking for people to help always, and there are benefits if you do come forward. Is really our point. It's not a one-way thing. It's a great organization. I've been in it for, I think I joined in 1993, and I don't regret a single minute of it. I've benefited from it personally. I've benefited from it professionally. It's a really very, very good organization to be in. I can only recommend it. So if anybody has any questions on this nice Sunday afternoon or Sunday morning or Sunday night, wherever you are, please type away. Otherwise, you can contact us by message or privately afterwards. Or I've got a couple of people I'm Skyping straight after this. who have written to me. Or we hope to meet you again at another webinar or another event. We have a lot of events coming up. You can check them out on Facebook, on our website, and so on. The next big events, I think Kristen will probably be telling you about in Brighton and so on. So, any questions? Can you? Yeah, here we go. Can you talk a little more about how you're planning to connect with companies? Dana?
Yeah, Julie has asked, how do you plan to bring global issues into BESIG? And we are, Julie, we have been talking with the Global Issues SIG, and that's one of the ideas that we have. Maybe through webinars or workshops with them, possibly a joint event in the future, as these are some of the ideas, basically.
Yes, I would add to that we have actually had events with the Global Issues SIG in the past. So that's one way, but it comes into nearly all the conferences anyway. The last conference definitely had, one of our plenaries was about a global issues issue. It wasn't about standard business English teaching or training. So this is something which is close to our hearts and has always been part of BESIG, and I think always will be. We've had articles written about global issues type issues. Issues is a difficult word if you can't think of another word like it. So, yeah, I hope that answers your question, Julie.
Paulina Brenner has asked, where can we find out about volunteer opportunities? Paulina, we are writing a letter from the joint coordinators every month, and in the next letter we are going to post the vacant positions where you can apply.
Sherry had one. Sherry had one. Dana, I don't know if you want to talk about that just after Julie's. Can you talk a little more about how you're planning to connect more with companies, your second goal?
The second goal, yes, Jerry. Well, we were thinking about connecting with business people that maybe sometimes it's difficult to get them to come to our talks or our conferences, but maybe we can make interviews to them or have them write articles or this type of interactions. Of course, if any one of you have ideas in this respect, we are welcome all the possible suggestions.
Yeah, absolutely right. The word we used in our discussions was leveraging our membership. In other words, it's not up to the committee. We've got to get the connections and the network that our members have to help us here. I will say again that we have had lots of talks and workshops in the past from HR people. There are always HR people at our conferences. You may not see them, you may not know them, but they're there. So we are connecting with companies, but we want to make it a little bit more visible and try and get more plenaries perhaps from business people. Like the last two BESIG conferences, we had plenaries from business people. Yeah, so hopefully that answers your question, Sherry. We're very happy that Heather is so happy to join BESIG. Thanks we're very happy that you're here as well, Heather. That's great. Any more
questions?
Just scrolling through. Have we missed any?
Yes, Camelia said, are you planning a conference in Romania? Well, Romania might be one of the possible venues. We are looking for venues right now, and Romania is one of them.
Yes. Camelia actually lives in a city which we're visiting next week to look at a possible venue. Camelia, maybe we can Skype after this talk and chat about that a bit further. There you are. Mercedes has somebody. It's important that the members in BESIG come forward with things, because the committee doesn't know everybody and doesn't know everything. We've got to leverage our members in order to get the best out of this organization. Good. Any more? Yeah. Dana, have you got anything else to say?
No, I was reading Pete's post. So basically what we are doing with the letter and with this talk with you today is that open to hear your suggestions, and that BESIG is run maybe by the committee, but it's for you, and it's we look forward to hearing from you all the time. This is something that we are going to create together, not that you are going to receive, but probably don't want what you receive. I don't know if I'm clear in this sense. The idea is to co-create things.
Julie has asked a question. There was talk of rebranding BESIG. Is this something you are considering? Julie, I'm not quite sure what you mean by rebranding BESIG. BESIG is a special interest group within IATEFL, and it has evolved over the years to try and meet the needs of its members. As you know, you've been a member a long time. We follow the rules and the guidelines laid out by IATEFL, so we're not going away from IATEFL. So perhaps maybe you want to chat to us afterwards. I'm not quite sure where you're going. A new face, a logo. Well, we are working, and we're almost at the end of working on our new website, which will come out. But there's no plans for a new logo at the moment. No.
Okay. I have a question actually, because we had that discussion in the EVO group that we have somebody from Uzbekistan, and she feels very much alone because nobody's teaching business English there. So how are we going to reach out more to people in let's say, diaspora who need more support from business English? Of course, they can join BESIG, but I think that's, again, the problem of being quite Eurocentric. How are we going to reach out more to the people in the peripheries?
In the peripheries, yes. Where I work in Asia, they see us as the periphery.
Yes.
Yeah, BESIG grew up in Europe, and that's where a lot of the members come from. Every time we want to do something outside, we get a lot of feedback saying, excellent, we're going outside, and we get a lot of feedback saying, I don't want it outside, I want to be able to afford to go to an event. What we're going to try and do is do as many events as possible, as has been happening for the last 10-15 years, maybe a summer event every year, lots of webinars, lots of online, lots of and one big event probably in Europe over the next 2 or 3 years. But that's the direction we're going in. I think with online, we are really reaching people all over the world now. Unfortunately, we don't reach China very well, which is a fifth of the world's population, because they can't access many of the channels we use. Those sorts of issues are complicated, and we need to find ways to get through them.
One thing that we have not mentioned, Ivan, is that our partnership with SIGs, Business English SIGs around the world, has been very important for us in the last years, and we have run the second symposium with SIGs from Hungary, from Japan, from Argentina, and we plan to keep working very hard on developing these links. So if you know other TAs or other SIGs in the world, in the peripheries, I should say, we would like to talk with them.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. In fact,
Okay.
a lot of these SIGs didn't actually exist or call themselves SIGs until very, very recently. So the name seems to be spreading as a sort of community of practice for people involved in business English. Yeah, okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Good. So I think that's it, more or less. I think we can also have more questions, like through Facebook or through Twitter, and then they're going to be answered maybe asynchronously or something like this. And thank you very much for joining us. And before you click off, just bear with me for a couple of minutes. So first of all, I want to thank Evan and Dana for taking the time to join us today. I think that's quite a nice thing to see. Okay, where are we going, and how are we going to contribute, actually from all over the group? And I think that's a very important thing. And one way of doing that is actually